everyone doing, man? I appreciate you guys. Let me make sure the volume is good. Alright, and it's not a fuck me a freaking course. You know what I mean? Let me fix this, guys. This is just how life be working, man. We don't want us to be great. I don't like using this mic, but whatever. I'm finna use it. Uh Alright. Perfect. Can y'all hear me? Alright, bet. Alright. So first, let's make sure we got all the chats up. If you guys haven't already, please like the video, man. I appreciate everyone that has liked the video. Drop any questions if you have any. Today we're going to be talking about Mercari. We're going to be talking about reselling in general. On Thursdays, when I go live, I like to talk about reselling. Wednesdays, I usually like to talk about phone flipping. It's just, I try to make sure that we are operating on at a level where we can access, a bunch of different information, flipping in between reselling and also phone flipping. So today with this Mercari aspect, I know that there's a lot of people that are in fact selling on Mercari. There are some people as well that are selling on platforms like eBay, OfferUp, Facebook. Mercari is one of those platforms, and I honestly can say this, it's one of the hardest platforms that I've ever tried to sell on, but it's also a platform that, is always good to have in your back pocket. Now, honestly, can you make 5 figures from Mercari? Absolutely. Now, can this happen overnight? No. You cannot do it overnight. It's not going to be one of them things where you're going to see that success just because you're listing pods. No. A lot of people have problems and troubles listing pods on Mercari because Mercari is one of those platforms as well that is smaller. So they are very, very keen to fraud and fake listings and stuff like that. Okay, so you just got to be careful. But let's take a deep dive and let's actually get into it. So number one, this is a slideshow that I used to actually use years ago. Well, not years ago, like a year ago, for my 5-figure Mercari strategy guide class. It was like a webinar, if you will, right? And I would answer questions and point out different things. And I want to do this because there's a lot of things we can revisit on this slide that are relevant, and also some things that have changed. All right. So first thing, right? The first step in any successful reselling business is sourcing quality inventory at low cost. Now, I do see a lot of individuals, especially even with my business, and you already know I'm not scared to call out my business and my products, right? Some of my products are not going to be good for people to just start reselling. Sometimes you're going to have to inspect what you expect, especially with your budget. Some people don't have the budget to just start splurging on pods or buying speakers or JBL or Prada or what's those hoodies people be getting what's those hoodies called, y'all? Track Hellstar or something like that. I don't remember, but I think it's Hellstar, I believe. A lot of people sell those fake hoodies, the knockoff ones, and I ran into about 3 people. One was a phone flipper, and he was telling me he got into phone flipping because he tried to resell hoodies that weren't obviously real, but he was selling them on Facebook, OfferUp, Mercari, and eBay, but he wasn't able to actually move them. And he was telling me how he spent a bunch of bread trying to get them from a distributor. He got them, but it didn't actually make them bread. Same thing with replicas, right? Some people were trying to sell AirPod reps. And when they were trying to sell the AirPod reps weren't moving either. And the reason I bring this up is because sometimes we get infatuated with the idea of making money, and we forget that we have to actually inspect what we expect, especially when it comes to our products, right? So again, I want you guys to start becoming more attentive to how much money you're spending off rip. Now, let's say you have a budget of $100. What I recommend, especially if you are new into reselling, is instead of you trying to spend $100, I want you to spend half of that, right? So for reselling, prime example, right? I don't have my wireless mic on, so I'm probably gonna the audio gonna be a little messed up for a second. But like for reselling, if I had $100, I'm buying these. I'm buying like chargers. I'm buying those the lipstick style charging banks, the ones, the battery packs, the ones that look really skinny. I'm buying those because they cheap as hell. I'm buying products that I know for a fact aren't going to cost me that much money. Not because I want to spend the rest of my money on promotions, or not because I want to spend the money on another type of product, but because when you're reselling, it's not about really spending the least. It's about spending the least for the most. Okay? So I know I can get 60 chargers for probably each charger 90 cents. So $15 each charger. So we talking 10, 20, 30. So we're talking about I can get probably 60 chargers, Type C, USB Type C Lightning, USB Lightning. So 4, I probably could spend around $80 and I get 80 chargers, right? Around that amount. And if I did that, I know for a fact that I'll be able to recoup my investment no matter what. No matter what. Like, and I know selling chargers isn't sexy, right? It's not what people want to hear. It's not what people want to see. And it's not something that you hear online to do, right? Everybody wants to sell reps and sell this and sell that and the shit that looks cute. But when you first starting out, you got to start out in the mud. Like when I first started out reselling, I was selling those headphones, the 3.5 jack headphones. So I was selling the headphones, the white versions of headphones that look like these, right? Like I was selling like headphones that were, the iPhone 6 headphones. I was selling those, and they were not popular. They were not popular. They weren't the ones that connected to the iPhone 7s and stuff, but they were cheap as shit. Like I would get them for like $1.50. So I was able to now get a lot of them, and I know for a fact that the target market was out there for them, but I had to make sure that that product actually got in front of that customer. So I think the first thing we have to actually get with Mercari, and we're specifically talking about Mercari, not eBay, none of these other platforms. With Mercari, you want to sell cheap first. Not cheap as far as quality, but low costing products. I think I shouldn't even use the word cheap, to be honest, because people take that out of context and they'll start selling some real cheap shit. And that's not what I'm saying. It's really important because Mercari is one of those places where people want to negotiate, right? So you want to make sure you're selling products that are going to be flexible with profit margin. Thrift stores like Goodwill and the Salvation Army are excellent places to source clothing, accessories, homes goods, and more. So this slide is where I was telling people, hey, you can actually source products from other places if you don't have a wholesale plug. Now, you can, and this was one of those things where I always want to give other avenues than just me, right? Like I'm not trying to just, even though I do have a wholesale website, wespoy.com, right? But I don't want to just push my own shit because I feel like that's not real, right? You can get products from these stores, Ross and TJ Maxx, even Walmart, right? Now, me, I never have done it because I think the one thing I've realized was for me to actually become a successful reseller, the type of reseller I am, I want to be able to get the product over and over and over and over again. I don't want to get it off of a shelf, off of a clearance aisle from Walmart, and then get a lot of bread from it, but not be able to source it again. That was always a real big priority of mine. But if you're somebody that wants to thrift instead of just being a reseller, you can do that. Like I know people that make bread with it, but just know that it's not consistent. And don't let people online lie to you and make it seem like, oh, today we're going to Target and we're getting 38 bottles of baby oil, right? Like it may be a reality for them, but even with Amazon FBA, all of these different little programs, there's a lot of money that you end up losing by buying a bunch of clearance items that obviously are on clearance because people in your area don't want them. Now, let me make it make sense, right? Just because people in your area don't want that product don't mean that people around don't, right? You're right. But what happens when you got to liquidate? Now, what is liquidation? So liquidation is going to be when you need to actually sell off inventory, right? And it's not selling. So you are marking it down a tremendous amount. Usually when I liquidate my own personal products, I'm going to flea markets and stuff because I want cash. If I'm liquidating a product, I don't want to have to pay for shipping, or I just don't want to waste my time. I want the money ASAP. But when you're liquidating products from Walmart, Target, and Ross and all of these things, unless it's like something that's really unique, it's not really worth it in the long run. And I know it seems cool, but trust me, there's a lot of what ifs with that, okay? Now, online wholesale for certain niches like toys, electronics, and health and beauty products, online wholesale is a cost-efficient way to build inventory, and it is. So you guys know the website WESPLY, that's my website. And you know, I plug that in a lot during our videos because I work hard on my business. This is not something I do on the side. It's not something I do for YouTube. This is something I wake up and breathe. Like, this is what I do for a living, right? So, you know, I work hard on putting certain products on here and also keeping certain products off, right? Because this is not all that I have. Like, I have a bunch of products, but I don't really need to sell them online. I sell a lot of products business to business. You know, I work with T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon. I work with them to actually provide their business customers chargers, headphones, cases, and etc. So, you know, when I go and promote on this type of site, I don't need to make those products accessible that aren't really selling, or are like, I'll give you a really good example. iPad cases, they sell so well when it comes to businesses, but not really when it comes to consumers. Like, I'm not going to sell a really good amount of iPad cases to you, right? Because you probably wouldn't even know what the heck to do with them. You feel me? So there's a bunch of it's a bunch of possibilities, but also a bunch of restrictions depending on the product that you are actually selling. But in the niche of electronics, getting a supplier is always going to be more cost effective. And it also is going to save you a lot of time because you'll build a networking relationship with whatever your wholesaler is. And hopefully they can cut you in on deals. You're also getting invoices, tax write-offs, things of that nature come with that. Buy it with your business credit card. I always tell every reseller, especially when you're selling on places like Mercari, bro, go to the bank, get you a business checkings account. Make sure all of the products that you buy, you're buying through that business checking account. So when you do get to actually claim your taxes, you're getting paid back for the expenses that, you know, you've occurred with your business. Okay, very important, very important. All right. Now, summary, okay? Regardless of your sourcing method, focus on items that have proven demand on your target. Now, see, this is where things get a little dicey, right? Because people go to Mercari, and I'll show you. People go to Mercari, and people lose sight of what the heck to sell, right? So you may be a person that's like, I don't even know if I want to sell electronics, B. I just don't know. You feel me? Like, I'm really trying to make money, but I'm not sure the field. Well, usually whatever you're looking up on Mercari will pop up obviously on the home screen. But what I like to do is I like to start with something. So let's just start with these chargers, right? Let's say I'm butt naked. I don't know nothing. I'm just a clear brain person that just don't know what the hell I want to do, right? Well, if I have these chargers right here, and I'm looking to try and make some bread, I gotta figure out if these are gonna sell. I would literally type in, and this is how simple it is. This is not complicated. iPhone charger, or you could put in even more specifics, the USB to Lightning or whatever. But I'll go ahead and just look up iPhone charger, and then things will pop up, obviously. But this is not really what we want. We want to go to status. We want to go to sold. So when I go to sold, then you got to realize that instead of going to best match, go to sort by newest first, right? When you start looking at this will actually tell you what is selling on Mercari and what's not. Now, Sometimes it's not going to be something you want. Yeah, sometimes it's not going to be something you like. Sometimes it's going to be like, damn, I can't even source this because I don't even know where to get it from. Or like right now, I see an iPhone 17 Pro Max for $780. I ain't never selling no phone on Mercari. Now I used to. I've never had a problem selling phones on Mercari, but I could, and that's why I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's too high of a risk. But look at this. We got the Apple Lightning charger. So this is something interesting because if you look at it, this is a stock photo. It's not even a real chargers. This person has 15 reviews. I can look at them. I can just see if this is something, that they sell on a consistent basis. So now I see that they're selling this on a consistent basis. These are obviously not real. So what I would probably do is I would take this post, I would erase the Apple logo, and I would list them. Okay, or I'll keep the Apple logo, get a distributor or a supplier that sells these with the Apple logo on it and just sell them that way too. Obviously this person's lying. I'll tell you that off the rip because it's hard to get Apple chargers that are certified. These are not certified. I'm sure of it, but because they sell 2 for $10, that's $5 each. They got the plus $36 buyer protection fee. Free shipping as well. They're paying around $4, $5 for shipping. So this person's selling these chargers $4 together, $2 each. If we think about it, this person's probably making anywhere between $2.50 per listing. That's no bread. It's no bread, no money, right? And that is a really clear and cut breakdown on how much profit margin matters on Mercari over eBay. Like, profit margin matters. This person's not making no bread. And the reason they're not making no money is because they're doing free shipping. Right? Because they are prioritizing sales over profit. I don't prioritize sales over profit. It's too dark of a time right now. Tariffs, markets that are uncontrollably unstable. I'm not risking me making bread. Like, I want to make at least $5. If I'm selling 2 of these, I want to make at least $5 profit, right? So I probably would add 1 pair of cables. But then again, I don't know how much this person is paying for these. I don't even know what they really look like because this is stock photos. So I'm sure that this is not what they're selling. Like as far as like the packaging and it being legit. But anyway, back to what I was saying. You could type in, if that didn't move you, I would just go ahead, power bank, right? Like, I would just start searching terms, and like this will tell you what to buy. Like, this is a charger we sell, and that's interesting. That's very interesting. This sold. Hold up. This ain't sell, right? Cause I'm saying for $18.75. Hold on. Yeah, no. Let me see. So we got a Belkin charger. Okay. We got a solar charger. Okay. We got a bunch of different chargers. Like, this is what I would do. I just start looking like, all right, cool. So it looked like customers are buying portable chargers. Here's like a lipstick style battery. But see, look, I'm sure it doesn't have an in-person picture because this is not how it looks in person, I'm sure. Okay, a bundle. Like, you start doing your product research. You can go ahead and do headphones. Now, this is how. Now, you don't have to get the products that look exactly like these, but it just shows you, okay, generic headphones are selling, but what kind, right? So we go to sold. All right, whatever these are. Sound Care earbuds. Okay. Those look like the clones. And I'm not even looking for clones right now. I'm just looking in general. Okay. Okay. This is absolutely insane because that doesn't even look presentable. So I'm just looking, and I'll be able to decide, okay, headphones, they seem good. And you just keep doing that. You keep looking. Like, even if you're in clothing, like, I'm not sure, what you're selling, but just start doing your research. I think that's like the first thing you should do when you're looking to get on Mercari, because to make $1,000, you can't be making $2 profit each product. That's not going to work. Okay. Here are some tips for taking listings to the next level. Invest in a light box. Now, this was something I used to really preach. I used to preach back in the day. I used to say take your own photos. I used to say get a light box because I used to have a light box, which a light box is, if you don't know, it's a box that you actually can take pictures and do all of that with for your products. Let me show you. Light box. Like a light box is something that you can utilize to take really good pictures for your products. A lot of people that are listing on platforms like eBay and things of that nature, they use light boxes. I feel like light boxes are good, but again, they take too much time and space. All right. Now, titles. Titles are really important. We like to keep titles generic. I don't like to put keywords into titles any longer, because when you put keywords in the titles, that gets it a higher chance to be flagged. I personally don't feel like titles on Mercari trump value on Mercari. Now with eBay, I probably would say the title does matter. With Mercari, as long as the title has what the product is, people can find it. You get me? So like, if we're talking about Labubus, right? Mind you, I just got home, so I ain't do no research or prior looking. Labubu doll before I got on here, right? But we look up Labubus, you can see some people have Labubu dolls, some people have Pop Mart. Like, there's a bunch of different terms. Now, if we go to sold, what terms are actually hitting, right? So Seahawk Labubu, wow. Ooh, this is looking nice. I like this one. But you can see it's different Labubus. This is one of the most popular Labubus that we've been selling right here. I just want to highlight that. This right here, this for some odd, this doll looks so ugly to me, but this doll sells a lot. Okay, I'm just letting y'all know. This doll right here, this rainbow Labubu, it really must be rare because people really buying it from me. It ain't rare to me, but it definitely it paid some bills. I tell you that. But yeah, just let them know what the product is. Description. Now, when I see people create descriptions for Mercari, they do one or two things. Some people over-explain, some people under-explain. Some people just be chatting and just be writing anything. And some people are so lazy, they don't even try to actually capture what the device is. At least let the person that's looking at your product know that this is a product that will be shipped in 2 days. Or, let them know fast shipping. Also, let them know what type of deals you can do. Like, I approach all of my platforms like Mercari, OfferUp, Facebook, where I can meet people in person and also sell online. I approach all of those platforms like wholesale listings, right? Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, you can get this product, but you can get two for X amount, right? Or we have multiple colors in stock. We can do wholesale discounts available. Like, in the description, I let them know that I have plenty, because if I let you know I have plenty, then it becomes an illusion that you are a buyer buying from a plug. And that's what you want people, especially on Mercari, to think. Not that you're just a seller or a hustler or somebody that's just selling something you done found in your closet. You want them to think about you as a plug. Because Mercari does have a lot of repetitive buyers. But also Mercari, and I believe it's in this slide too, I refer to it as like a flea market, because it definitely is a flea market type of vibe. Like, you're not going to get people that actually just buy the products all the time. Most of the time, they're going to be trying to make some type of like deal. And me personally, I'm not into making deals, because my price is my price. And I've always been that way. But you'll find that building on Mercari can become the long game if you just accept everybody's offer. So I don't accept everybody's offer, and I don't at all just price products and let shit just go. Like I'm looking to make the most out of my money every single time. Updates to our terms and policies. Let me see something. Am I okay, I was about to say. Cool, cool, cool. Alright, let's move forward. Now, categories. So categories, they are semi-important. I try to just keep it to where I'm honest when it comes to this, because some people blow these things out of proportion. They'll try to make things seem like they're bigger than what they are. Categories are one of them things where, yes, you want to make sure your listing is in the right category, but categories, I haven't seen them be the difference between making some bread and not making bread. If anything, it's the keywords as far as, hey, we ship fast. Hey, I can do bundles. Hey, I have multiple products. Hey, message me. I was about to say email. Message me if you have any questions. Like, these things always help us, especially when it comes to us being in a position of authority, right? Like whether you're selling cologne or you're selling electronics or selling clothes, you want to be that person where they're like, damn, this person got a lot of stuff, right? Like, damn, this the plug. Like that's, and I keep saying that because you really want people, especially on Mercari, to think that. Now with shipping, I never do any free shipping anymore. Now back in the day, we would do free shipping depending on the price and etc. But right now we don't do any free shipping because shipping has went up. It was $3.50, then it went to $4.50, and now it's at like $5.50, $6. Speaking of that, oh man, I got a whole package that should have been. Oh man. Ooh. All right. Communication. Right. I done forgot, y'all. I got a whole package that a supplier dropped off to my warehouse, and I didn't go to the warehouse today. Crap. I done messed up. I hope. People be stealing packages nowadays, bro. And if the warehouse door ain't open, you never know. Now communication. Now communication is very important, right? You want to make sure you're communicating with people. And that's one thing that I will say. When I first started Mercari, I laxed. Like, communicating was always a staple with customer service, but I used to ignore people's messages. Like they would message me and stuff, and then I would be like, if they ask me, like, prime example, I'll give y'all a good example. If they ask me, hey, can you do this and that product, right? Like a mix and match type of thing. I used to feel like if they wanted it, they would just buy it. So like I wouldn't be the one to sit there and negotiate it. See, but what you end up realizing is, and what I had to realize, and this goes for every platform, that just because somebody offers something doesn't mean that they don't see the value in it. And also, bro, we don't got no time to leave or let no bread just sit there. we gotta capitalize on every opportunity that we can. You know what I mean? So that's important for us to internalize and realize. My kids are yelling. All right, tracking. Now, tracking, if you're shipping products, right? And let's say you're shipping products that are, and you're not doing it through Mercari, because Mercari, they say, do you want to ship on your own or do you want to ship through Mercari? If you're shipping it yourself because you think that you have some type of discount, cool. But 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna tell you this: when you start doing a lot of orders and making a lot of money, it's going to be a headache. What I would do is just do it through Mercari. And one key thing with Mercari is do not hit sent if it's not sent, because then you won't be able to access the label. Then you got to contact customer care and try to get this label stuff resolved. Listen, shipping is one of the most important things when you're working towards building your Mercari. Because if you don't actually um, start getting products delivered in the right way, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be an issue. Because Mercari is going to end up taking a lot of your stuff down, and that's the last thing you want. What's up, y'all? What's up? Torrance, what's up? What's up? What's up? Not so, what's up? Not so. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. What's up, bro? How you? I'm getting a lot of free stuff from college. I can do between calculators, charges, and adapters and cheap. Oh, yeah. That's definitely dope. If you get those, man, you could actually end up turning that into real bread. You could do that. You could sell it at flea markets, pop-up shops, or and online. I'll probably sell online, though, because it might not sell right now, but I'll tell you this. It will sell when it's back to school. So I'm telling you right now, definitely list that stuff up. Now, leaving positive feedback, that's important, of course. We want to make sure, I would definitely say calculators. Calculators are a lot of money, as I'm sure you know. Calculators are a lot of money. Charging adapters. And when it comes to cheap headphones, cheap headphones are good. There is a lot of competition with headphones, though. There's a lot of competition. I just, this headphone game, I'm not talking about pods or anything. I'm talking about literally wired headphones. Unless it's a product that looks and packaged like Apple, you're going to run into problems every single time. I would definitely get the calculators, because if somebody's giving you calculators, bro, that's bread. And that's something people need. And also, that's where the supply and demand comes into play, right? Like, I know for a fact that people are scrambling for calculators before college because they want to save some bread. They know the college calculators cost X amount. Now I could be the plug for that. I definitely would do that. Positive feedback is really important with Mercari, y'all, so make sure that you get that. We ain't going to do all of that. We're not worried about that. We're not worried about the carrier discounts and shipping is just shipping. Like, shipping's not hard. If you don't know how to ship, then that's a problem by now, okay? And I went in depth on this slide. This slideshow, I'm talking about tape and all of that, huh? Now, data is king. Now, this is something I do want to talk about because I think a lot of resellers in general just skip this fact. Bro, if you're not inspecting what you expect, you're cheating your own damn self. Like, on this board right here, I got a bunch of numbers for a bunch of different things, but I also have numbers on another whiteboard that I have. Believe it or not, this is how much of a hustler I am. Yo, and I don't want to spill my own business, but everywhere that I go, I got a whiteboard. Like, I got a whiteboard everywhere I go. Because no matter where I'm at, I got to make sure I'm reminding myself of what I got to do. Like, I'm a big whiteboard guy. Because when I used to go into foam stores, and I have a lot of friends that are like managers at foam stores and stuff, and I look at how they hold their associates or their employees accountable, it makes me think differently about being an entrepreneur, because it's like, I gotta hold myself accountable, and I need to show myself when I'm not doing shit right, And I think a lot of people, they don't do that. They'll write shit on their notes, but like, you don't have to look at your notes every day. I want something smack dab when I walk in to a room, I can look at it and see, damn, this month I'm doing shitty. Like, I gotta do better. Like, I like being transparent with myself, and I also like putting that pressure on me to do better, right? I think that that's always important, to always consistently push yourself to do better, okay? So data is definitely king. Sales tracking. Now, total monthly sales and average order value. Average order value trumps total monthly sales. You want to make sure your average, especially bringing out, like just starting, your average order value should definitely be over $10 because when you're first starting out with Mercari, we're going to start out with bundles. We're not going to start out with individual products anyway. Individual products are not going to make you bread. They're not going to make you money, especially on Mercari. So I want you guys to remember, we're talking strictly about Mercari, okay? We're not talking about eBay or anything like that. We're talking about Mercari. So, excuse me, yeah. Mercari is one of those platforms you want to make sure that you are bundling. Your average order value is key. And then you want to set the goals. I agree with that. Now, views versus conversion. This is a big part that I think a lot of people on apps in general misunderstand. So I have people occasionally hit me up in my DM and they'll say to me, "Hey Brandon," I'm like, "Yeah, what's up? Do you think I should buy some views?" What you mean? Should I buy views on eBay? Or usually I don't hear about buying views on Mercari, but they'll ask if they should buy views. What the heck do you think is going to happen for you buying views on the back end? Like, think about it. Like, eBay or Mercari, they can't see how many people have viewed your listing. Now, I can see if you're like, oh, people that like your listing, should I buy those? I could understand. I wouldn't agree, but I could understand you being like, oh, should I? But, like, it's not about when people view your product. Like, I'd rather have a product that's viewed 3 times but got 1 sale rather than a product that's viewed 1,000 times with 5 sales. Because my conversion is horrible. Okay? Conversion is king. Now, whether it's the warehouse, whether it's my phone stores, or whether it's me in general, one of the biggest things that I think about and talk about within me, myself, my employees, I always talk about conversion. If you're trying to operate a business and you're trying to become successful, you have to understand conversion. It's not about how many people you get. It's not about how many views you get. It's not about none of that. It's about how many people you convert, you turn into customers. And I use myself as a really good example. You ready? So like YouTube, I don't get a lot of views, right? I don't get a lot of views, but I get a high conversion rate. And it doesn't even have to always do about products. It could be about partnerships, about inquiries. It could be about a bunch of different things. Now, of course, money king, and I'm not ever going to sit there and try to lie, right? I think I do poor on some platforms like Depop. I do poor on Depop. I get more views than I do conversion, so I don't put my attention to it as much. But when you're getting more views without conversion, you then know that your packaging is wrong. So these are like important little steps that you got to do, especially when you're trying to sell on eBay or Mercari. Okay. Shipping costs is important. If you're not looking at your shipping costs and you're just doing free shipping, that's why you're broke, right? I'm being honest. Because I used to do it. I used to be like, oh, I'll just do free shipping. I'll just price this a cheap ass price. No worries, right? And then you start realizing like, bro, I'm not making no god dang money. But the reason I'm not making no money is because I'm not inspecting what I expect. I'm not making no money because I'm actually putting myself in a position to give the customer more value than what they're giving me in return. And see, that's when you become weak. That's when you become instead of doing, I'll say this. When you stop, and this has to do with shipping, okay? And I want to say it in the most blunt way, and because I want you guys to remember this when you're thinking about doing free shipping and stuff, right? Think about it like this. Whenever you're thinking about giving people free shipping, think about, is your business a charity or is it a even exchange? Like, I'll give y'all some insight on me. With WESPOY.com, my wholesale website, I used to do free shipping. And now the shipping is $6.50 each product. Or, not each product, but each package, right? For standard. I charge people for shipping. The reason is because I was eating that cost so much when Trump did the tariffs and everything. I probably lost $1,000 a week because the amount of money that I had to spend to get the products in the United States was never recouped. Like, and then you're not even talking about the people that got to pull it up the truck. You're not talking about paying a delivery service. You're not talking about paying for boxes. You're not talking about, because see, my suppliers, they'll ship me products, but I get products from a lot of different places, and some of those places don't have carrier services. Like, they don't have like a DHL or international packaging services. I'm trying to make it make sense. They have, like, you have to hire an independent person to go and get the package from the factory, and then they take it to a place that then puts the package on a boat, and then the boat takes the package to another country, and then that country then ships the package. It's like a lot of stuff. So what I had to realize was, Brandon, you're eating all of these costs because you're trying to be nice and you're trying to decrease the cost for resellers, but you're hurting your business. Is your business a business or a charity? So I want y'all to start thinking about that, because, you know, some of us are nice and some of us really do care about the customer. Not all of us, right? Let's be real. Like, some people are cutthroat, and I'm getting to that point where I'm cutthroat. Like, I'm trying to, I want to make money, but I also want to curate a relationship with my customers where they know I'm not banging them upside the head. You know what I mean? And so far I've successfully done that. Like, I'm not really one to price hike. Like, I'm not one, hey guys, get my phone flipping course for $197 and that shit like 3 years old. Like, that's not me. But at some point, right, you have to realize that you're going to have to actually start calculating what your profit is. That's really what I'm going to. Now, returns and cancellations. Now, with Mercari, this is it. This here with Mercari, I don't really run into. But I'll tell you this. There's a reason I don't run into it. Because I don't even put myself in any type of position to get returns. Like, if I get a customer that is asking me, are these real? Even though I'm telling you they're not real, but you're like, are these real? Bro, dub. Like, I'm good. Like, so to everybody out there that ask me all the time, hey, what do I do when a customer, and this is on any platform, when a customer messages me and says, are these real? Or can you send me another picture? That's another thing. Can you send me a picture? All of these type of customers are high risk customers. Now, I'm going to keep putting things in my perspective so you guys can see the lens that I see it in, just as a reseller in general, right? So, and I ain't going to say no names. All right, perfect. Arctic, what's up? I'm going to be honest, right? Y'all know how, I like going live because I feel like with some of you guys, I can create a relationship with, right? So, some customers are not worth having. This was a lesson I had to learn last year. So, and I'll give you a little small story, right? Because, so this guy, he found me on YouTube, okay? And this is a true story. This guy found me on YouTube. And, Labubu's, this is right before Christmas. He ordered probably 100 Labubu's from me. Like, every day I get like at least 4 bulk orders, like 100 plus for something, right? And when we do bulk orders, so if you don't know, you can go, right? And I'll explain it, because this is something, and what I got to do better is explaining stuff like this, because I want you guys to be in a position where, like, and I don't want to like make it seem like I'm above anybody, because I'm not. I'm just a regular person struggling, trying to build and grow. But, like, I want you guys to be in a position where you could actually do things in your way, like how I do, but in your way, right? So what I did was, I have a chat right here, right? And I outsource. So when I'm not in the warehouse, I have people that are actually working to answer questions when people are typing. Like, this is a real person, okay? So you can easily be like, hey, I want to get 100 Labubu's, and they'll give you a price. So they might say, all right, I give you Labubu's, depending on which one, for $6 instead of $9, right? So this guy, he goes, he buys 100, and it's the Coke Labubus. Okay, so he buys them. He must have sold them, and then he buys another batch. Odd. Okay, very odd, because if you buy 100 Labubus, it's very rare that you're gonna just sell 100 Labubus in a matter of a week. Okay. Now Poshmark, they sell fast, but I ain't even moving 100 Coke Labubus. This sounds so crazy. I feel like I'm talking about something else, but y'all get what I'm saying. I'm not selling that many of those Labubus a week, of those exact ones, right? So person puts another order in. Person then messages me and says, hey, I pay for rush shipping when it get here. And I answer. Like, I'll answer. And everybody knows my customer service. Now, my customer service has not always been great. Like, I used to be big-headed. I used to be that person, I got some bread. And, I went through my own stages. But, and I'm very transparent about that. Not that I egged off customers or cursed customers out, never. But I used to not handle it hands-on. I would just have somebody else do it. But now I handle things hands-on because I'd rather touch my customers. Pause. But you know what I mean? Touch my customers so that I can actually see how they feel and gain intel. So I'm like, thank you for buying more, right? And your package will come X and X date. Tell me how. We rush ship this person his package. The person says, hey, these Labubus, they're not real. Now, let's make this clear. Everybody asks me, everybody, are the Labubus real? Every single time I give 100% honest answer. I have been told they are real. I am not 100% sure. If you need real ones, do not buy them from me because I don't know. Like, they have the QR code, but there's a bunch of different variations. I tell people, right? So the guy then says, I want a refund for the 100. We say, can you send us the Labubus back? Y'all, mind you, this is days and days of like just talking. He was being an asshole. He was being an asshole for no reason. Remember, he already ordered 100, so he got 200 now. But I know what happened, and I'll tell you what happened. And customers do this all the time. Luckily, I got a good legal team, and I got a really good order of operations with chargebacks and stuff. But so what happened was, we're like, can you send the dials back? He like, yeah, send a return label. We do it. He never sends the dials back, and then he tries to get his money back. So, of course, that triggers a whole different sector of my business, and we fight that and handle everything we had to handle. So then, he then goes on a rampage and says, oh, you're a scammer, you're this and that. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking to myself, yo, Brandon, when he ordered those 100 Labubus for another time so fast, you had a bad feeling. Why did you sell them? And like, that always sticks in my head because I think to myself, sometimes we start seeing success and we become greedy. And then we stop being hungry, we become greedy. And not even just for money, but for that gratification or for that just to provide that customer with those products to let them know, like, we got you. And he wasn't worth working with again. But I should have knew that. And that's what you got to remember with customers. Like, you'll have customers be like, hey, the package didn't come. Okay. Let's do some investigations. So what I do, every time that they pick them up for the warehouse, we have to sign. All of our packages are insured. And also, we make sure that we document, you know how USPS and UPS has the little Oh, it was scanned in this time and that time. Well, we document that on the website in our back office so we know. So we handle what we have to handle to make sure the package gets where it needs to go. And sometimes it just becomes a headache. Excuse me, y'all. Hello? Um, just spicy chicken nuggets then. That yeah, with barbecue sauce, please. Yeah. Yeah, with no ice. All right. Thank you. Bye. It's like sometimes you have to be able to dictate when it's not a good arrangement. And to be completely real with you guys, there's a lot of times where I should have just walked away from customers, but I try to get the sale, and it always turns out bad because you lose a customer. You know what I mean? So I just say all of that to say, and I know I went on a long little story, but I say that to say, like, there's an entrepreneur out there right now that wants it so bad that they're willing to put themselves in that situation that may not have a team or money to fight. So it's like you want to sell reps so bad because you want money so bad, but you want money so bad that you don't even realize that the customer you're selling to ain't going to send those pods back once they get them and they're not satisfied, right? So you just got to be careful, man. Don't be a greedy person. Trust me. Customer feedback is important. Um, Testing changes is really important. So prices, right? So I want to talk about how I price, right? I want to break down pricing because, I think that pricing sometimes is the difference between a successful business and also a business that's going to fail, right? So what I do all the time, like I'll be in a warehouse and then I'll do this all the time. I walk around. Now I'm rarely in the warehouse. So what I did, again, transparency, right? What I do is sometimes like having a warehouse is cool, but it's very expensive. So sometimes I'll rent out parts of the warehouse. Sometimes I have a friend that does construction. I'll let him use spaces. So what I do is I got a lot of time on my hands sometimes just watching other people and inspecting, but also sometimes I don't. Sometimes I gotta get the hell out because I got other things going on. I write down prices. I don't sit there and ponder and put price tags on things. I'll write down the prices on my Google Sheets. And then what I'll do, I'll go here. Okay. And I just want to show you guys the way I do this because I think sometimes others can use what I do and implement it into their type of pricing. So the way I do it is if I have a product, let's do some real product examples. All right. Type C adapter. Okay. So if I have a Type C adapter, and let's say that adapter is going to cost me $3.50. Okay. So I know this is going to cost me $3.50. I need to make some bread. But I know that this is a low costing product. Now I don't like talking about high, mid, and low because some people take this out of context. They'll be like, oh, I got a low tier product, but it really is a mid tier product because see, the tiers of product depend on your budget. I'll give you an example. If I buy, let's say I have a budget of, let's get the calculator out. Let's say I got a budget. And see, these are the things that people don't break down on YouTube. And this literally is the reason some people are successful and some people are failures. It's a fact, right? So especially in business, in business. Like, I wish somebody broke this shit down to me. Ready? All right. So let's say I got a budget. And let's hypothetically say the budget is $300. No, we're going to go lower. $100. Okay? What would be my mid, low, and high? Well, I know for a fact that a low ticket product needs to be under $10 to $20 because I don't want to use any more than 25% of my budget on one product. But a mid-ticket, you're using around 50%. So $50. But if I buy a mid-ticket product, then I really can't afford to buy a high and low. You get me? Think about it. If I spend 50% of $100, that's me spending $50 towards a product. Let's say I get, what do we buy? Okay, let's say we get pods, and I get 4 pods. Okay, cool. So that's going to cost me $56. All right. Now I know for a fact that that's mid. You get me? Because I spent over 50% of my budget. But if I got some maxes and I got 4 of them, that would be $108. That's a high ticket product for the bundle. I hope I'm making sense. And if I'm not, don't hesitate to ask the questions. But this honestly is the difference between a real good reseller and a failing reseller, is knowing your budget. So these are like things I don't see people online doing because they don't know how to do it, because they don't really operate businesses in real life. But the point that I'm making is this is a low ticket product, $3.50 for an adapter. But how much do I actually charge somebody for this? This is actually the reason I lost my first phone store. I went out of business because I was pricing products just off of feeling and emotion. Oh, well, this is going to be $10 because I like the color. This is going to be like, no, that's not how you do it, right? So what you do is you have to make percentages that you want to keep for every type of tier. For a low tier product, I usually will go between 65 to 75%. So 65, $10. 75, $14. Okay? So what I would do is I'm like, all right, guys, and I'm talking to my staff in the store, we're going to mark this up to $14, but we're going to put it on sale for $10. They're like, okay. Why? Because 65% is $10, right? I make $6.50 from that. Okay? But I want the customer to feel like, obviously, they're getting a deal. So I'm going to put it at 75. We'll mark it down 65, create an illusion to have the customer think that they're getting a deal, a sale, obviously. And that's the way we'll do it. But when it goes off of sale, we'll hike it back up to the $14. I'll get $10.50 per charging adapter. Now, the way that AT&T works, T-Mobile works, is they go way past 75. They'll do a 110% profit margin. Like they be not 110. I'm tripping. They do a 90% profit margin. They'll do a 95. Like they'll do insane profit margins because they understand that their brand sells more than just the product, right? So with us regular resellers, for a low ticket product, we're between 65 to 75. Okay, so I want y'all to write that down. Low tier, 65 to 75. But hold on. So mid tier would be, I just don't feel like getting the products, but mid tier would be probably like some pods, right? So $14, $27. That's like the max headphones. That's these right here. These would be with the $100 budget, okay? These would be like mid ticket right here. These, because you can get these wholesale for $27. $27 of your $100. If we're going to get it wholesale, we can get a pack of 4 for $108, right? I think I'm doing the math right. Yeah, for $108, that passes our budget regardless. But that's how we know, okay, that's going to be a mid ticket because it's cost us $27. Now, it's important for you to know when you're going and dealing with prices that the tier doesn't, it's not created or not decided by how much the bulk cost. It's about the individual cost of goods of that certain product. So how much did that one piece cost you? Not all 4 or however many you buy, okay? So $27 mid-ticket. So now I got to figure out how much I'm going to actually charge the customer. Now, peep, the least or as the less it costs me, the more my profit margin. The more it costs me, the least it costs me, the higher the profit margin, the more it costs me, the lower. Okay? Why? I'll explain. It costs me a little bit more, so I can't have a high profit margin. So what I'm going to do is instead of 65 to 75, I'll probably do 50. So I'll probably do 45 to 60. Okay, so I'll say let's mark it up. So this is the sell price, $67.50. But when I put it on sale, I'm going to put it on sale for $54. That means, okay, I profit 27, but I also have 27 to put back into the pods. You see? Like every time you sell a product, you need to make sure you had a bread to supplement for that product that you're selling. That's how I failed in my first business, bro. Like in my first business, what I did was I literally sat there and I paid too much money for these products and did not supplement or get more inventory with the products that I sold. You know what I mean? And that was something that really affected me, right? So yeah, that affected me a lot. Now, so we have low ticket, we got 65 to 75. Mid ticket, we got 50 to 60%, 65 maybe. But now let's talk about high. Okay, a high ticket product, that's where you're gonna want to actually. So a high ticket product probably costs you $60, right? Now you got to make sure your profit margin is going down. So we talk at 25% now, because just because it costs me $60, I'm gonna actually make less every time. See, people sleep on that. They don't realize that. But your profit margins have to make sense. Okay? 25, we'll do 35, but I probably would stick between 25 to 35. All right? And that's how like I price my products. And I think that's important for you guys to see, because a lot of people do not talk about that. All right? Now, in conclusion, guys, what I really wanted you guys to get out of this is that, you know, reselling on Mercari is all about the experience that you want the customer to have, but also it's about the products that you acquire, making sure that they are listed correctly, listed in bundles. They got to provide people value. If your products don't provide value, people ain't going to buy them. Not on Mercari. Mercari is not that type of platform where they care about your product. No, they care about the value over the product you're selling, and that's a fact. All right. So yeah. Any questions you guys have, I'm here to answer. I definitely wanted to make sure that I got that out, and I took my time to break that down in the best way possible, because I think, again, a lot of us, we want to succeed on Mercari, but we just don't quite know how. And we'll keep talking about it, you know, on different lives. But I think that was an important first step, especially when it comes to Mercari. All right. So I'm about to get off. I'm about to head over to Twitch. If you guys don't know, if you're watching this now or later, definitely check out my Twitch, man. My Twitch is educated__hustler. I'm trying to build my Twitch up. If you do watch Twitch, please support your boy. Twitch is right here. It's educated__hustler. Definitely check it out. Okay. Very important, because I'm trying to get my Twitch up and running. All right. So if you guys could, I would appreciate it. Oh, and also, if you guys don't know, I'll be spitting facts on YouTube. Brandon the Hustler. Let me see. Oh, I just want to see if it comes up. So this is a newer channel I do where I'm talking about a lot of motivational aspects of life, but also I'm giving a lot of game on things that I'm actually learning on my journey as an entrepreneur. So I'm talking about a lot of stuff about like family, about how to persevere through people that doubt you, how to get through certain walls and things that are hindering us all, right? And I also talk about scams and stuff too. So definitely check out and go ahead and subscribe, man, to Brandon the Hustler. I'll be putting a lot more content out there on that. And last but not least, something that I'm really, really excited to announce is I will be having a webinar for phone flipping on February 5th. This is my first webinar for this year. I want to do a lot more webinars. It's $17 to join this webinar. I'll be teaching people how to actually start flipping phones from start to finish within 7 days with no Facebook ads. Plus, I'll be connecting you with phone buyers, okay? My goal is 9 p.m. February 5th to actually not just have slideshows teaching you how to do the regular phone flipping, but to also have some phone buyers on, and also to be able to connect you with people that can actually get you offers for phones. Also teach you how to make the phone flipping game actually work for you to be able to make a good amount of money. I think a lot of people are infatuated with the quick ideas or the get rich quick propaganda out there. But phone flipping is an art, man. It's all about flipping your bread, your money. And I'll teach you how to do that. All you got to do is go to wesply.com, and it's literally on the homepage. Reserve your seat, man. I'll teach you how to phone flip, and I'll also make sure after this webinar you have a connection. All right, that's really important. The webinar is not for me to sit there and talk your ear off. It's for us to make this fucking money, man. All right, that's how we coming, man. You already know how I go, man. I don't waste no time, nor do I blow smoke up anybody's tailpipe, all right? I'm all about trying to build, grow, and most importantly, profit. So that webinar is coming, man. wesply.com is flip your first phone in 7 days with no ads. That is something I'm doing February 5th. I'll be doing a reselling webinar as well soon, but I want to make sure that I give each webinar that I'm going to do my full attention. Very important. Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up, B? How are you? Bald Nino? I don't want to say your name wrong, but what's poppin', bro? How are you? Ain't nothing, man. Ain't nothing. Just hustling, man. That's it, man. Got home from grinding. Now I'm back, man. It's cold outside, man. It's cold outside, man. So I'm just, I'm trying to keep the heat on. Appreciate all y'all for tapping in, man. I really do. Make sure y'all like the video too for your boy. I really would appreciate you guys. Like my videos. Also, man, check out some of the new videos that I drop. But also, leave me some feedback, man. Like, how can I make my content better? I really need you guys to, like, if y'all could just help me out. Just let me know how I could become better, man. I'm one of them people where I'm ultra focused on becoming a better person, becoming a better brand. And I take criticism, really well. I do. Criticism is something that builds you, doesn't tear you down. All right. So that will be it, man. I don't really have much else. If you guys got any questions, ask away. Came to get the information. Yes, sir, man. My new saying is, I'm trying to entertain less but inform more, man. So I'm glad you came for the information. I dropped a few good little jewels, in my opinion. You know what I mean? About Mercari, how to make that bread. Also, how to list, how to actually come up with your profit margins. So I talked about those things, and I think those are what the heck? I think those are really important things for people to learn. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, okay. I think those are really important. Profit margins we went over, and profit margins are really important. So rewind and look at the profit margins, because a lot of people don't understand how to use profit margins and low ticket, mid ticket, and high ticket products. All right. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to get off. I'm about to get on Twitch. So definitely check out my Twitch, educated__hustler. Again, I'm just trying to build my Twitch up, man. So definitely support your boy. I would appreciate all of the support, man. All of the support. Where my Twitch at? I'll pull that crap up, man. Little by little, I'm gonna become a streamer, but not no streamer that's just like doing dumb stuff. My main goal is I want my streams to be informative, man. Like, I just want to get to the bread. I do play games and stuff, obviously, but I'm more focused on trying to get to the money, man. I just feel like we become so distracted trying to fit in and do what others do. Like, I filmed a video today, y'all. You too, bro. You too. I filmed a video today in my bed, and like it was a video about phone flipping, right? And the reason I did it was because I ain't never gonna lie to y'all. I'm keeping it 100. When I film, sometimes I do research to see what type of video, right? Like what type of video I should record. So it was a phone flipping video, and you guys will see it next week or maybe this weekend, and it's about how to start phone flipping. So, you know, I researched it. I went on YouTube, right? So I went on YouTube, and I forget the term that I put in, but I had put in some term about phone flipping, right? I think I just put phone flipping in, right? And I'm watching all of these people, right? And I start clicking on some videos just to see what people be talking about. And like, I realized something about YouTube and like the informative videos, like how to flip phones, how to resell. A lot of people, they'll go and rent out a workspace and then they'll film the video. And they got the nice background. Obviously, they hire editors and stuff. I feel like that's all bullshit. I don't want y'all to see my monitor. I don't want to look like I'm somebody that's straight out of a business movie or I don't want to look like none of that. Like I wear hoodies, sweat shirts, joggers. I'll be me. I don't like. I used to come on here and I used to try to like wear my designer. Bro, I used to try to like. I wouldn't say I tried to look cool because I've never tried to look cool for the internet. It's never been that deep for me. I wear hoodies. Bro, I dress how I dress because I want to show people you could do that and be successful in business, right? Like, I don't got to dress in suits or try to impress people with the things that I have. Not because I don't have it or because I'm trying to hide something. But what I realize is that sometimes when we watch videos, those videos paint dreams and we get so stuck in trying to be what that person is instead of trying to get the information the person is saying. Now, I ain't saying that I'm gonna go ahead and film a video at a bando or in a dumpster or something. But I'm just saying, like, make sure any of the information that you guys are soaking up, that you're not buying a dream that they're trying to sell you, but instead the information that they're providing. Because there's a lot of bullshit out here, man. A lot of people be fucking lying. A lot of people just be acting like they're living a life that they're not really living. And then they're finessing you into thinking that what they got going is actually worth something. But it's like a lot of people, they're not really hustling, bro. They're not really grinding. They're not really putting everything in. A lot of these motherfuckers, they not really actually doing what the fuck they say they doing. You know how many times, and I say this a lot and I'm gonna say it again. Bro, when I first started phone flipping, it was a bunch of motherfuckers on here phone flipping. Putting out YouTube videos about phone flipping and phone flipping academy this and phone flipping academy that and resell this and resell academy that. And they all just the fuck appeared. Because they all got a 9 to 5. Because they don't really do this for a living. I do this for a living. You ask my kids right now, they'll tell you I do this for a living. This is what I do. Career day, my daughter know. I walk up in there, they say, what is your dad? He a boss. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Daughter walk into my store. She walk into my store. She know those are my employees. Not that they are anything less than me, but she know what a boss look like. She know how to work. It's just all about understanding. Like, you don't really gotta, like, you could be yourself, and that's like my main thing. Like, and I like to end my lives with a message, right? And I think my message to everybody out there is, hold on, it's coming. Just because you feel like you're doing better it doesn't mean you're actually doing what you need. You know, sometimes we all feel like we're working towards our purpose. Me too. Like right now, I feel like I'm alive. You know, this is my second day going live straight. I'm doing my thing. You know how tired I am? I'm fucking tired. After this, I'm still going live. I'm still gonna go on Twitch because that's what I said I wanted to do. I wanted to get my Twitch up and running or whatever. I'm gonna do it. But let me tell you something. The reason I actually think and have this type of work ethic right now is because recently I realized just because you're doing good, it doesn't mean you're doing good enough. Like, just because you made some bread today, and just because you actually did something that you set your sight on, doesn't mean you're good enough. Sometimes our purpose, it requires more. Like, and I had to really think of that because I was walking to the store today because I decided not to drive. I wanted to walk in the cold. And the reason I wanted to walk in the cold is because when you're walking, usually you can stimulate your brain and think more and get more clarity, right? And and I barely ever walk. So I'm walking and I think to myself, and I'm not lying. I said to myself, bro, I work so hard. Why am I still failing? This is an honest to God conversation I was having with myself. Like, yo, I bust my ass so much. Why the fuck am I still failing? Oh, Brandon, you just made $1,900 today. Who cares? That's not like little things. I'm like, but that's not enough, B. That's not enough. And then I think to myself, well, it must be the thing that I'm failing at. I'm like, yo, it must be that. Like, I'm failing because that shit not working for me, bro. They stopping me, bro. They stopping my grind. They hating on me, right? So I hopped in that bag and I started thinking to myself, like, damn, I'm in the position that I'm in because this shit ain't fucking with me. It ain't because of me. But then I sat back and I'm like, well, nah, maybe that's not it. And I started thinking to myself, well, maybe it's because the purpose that I actually want to have, or the purpose I feel like I'm actually going towards, it requires me to work more. It requires me to go live more. It requires me to actually pick up the camera and record maybe when I don't want. It requires me to be more vulnerable. It requires me to go to the warehouse sometimes when I don't even want to drive or when I don't want to deal with people. It requires me to spend less time with my family and more time with my business. It requires me to actually stop putting so much time into trying to control other situations and actually let things flow and be what the fuck it is. Sometimes you got to be honest with yourself and realize that you're not good enough, not because you're not working. And yes, you are doing better, but you're not doing good enough because you're not sacrificing and you're not giving enough. And also you're not pushing yourself more. A lot of us, we are pushing ourselves and doing things and doing this and doing that and getting shit. But what we're not doing is we're not pushing ourselves the extra mile. Yeah, you got a job. Yeah, you got some tax money coming in. Yeah, you may have a comfortable situation, but that's exactly why you're still a fucking bum. That's exactly why you're still in the fucking same situation that you're in. And when I say a bum, I'm not necessarily meaning your situation, but the way that you feel about yourself. Like some of us, we do want to become more financially stable, but the reason we're not financially stable in the capacity we want to be is because we're not actually pushing ourselves. We're settling. We're comfortable. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a job, but there's also something wrong with just having a job. There's nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur, but there's also something wrong with just consistently having and operating on the same frequency with the same business, getting the same results. Like, at what point do you say I want more? And then it's like the people that do get more, they get more and then they just start spending more, or they get more and then they start slacking off on some other shit. If you want to be successful, you got to understand that sometimes we want to be millionaires, but we don't got a millionaire work ethic. Sometimes we want to be financially stable, but we don't got a financially stable patience. Sometimes we want to actually do things that we don't have the fucking balls to actually achieve because we are not fucking disciplined enough. Today I did something bad. Actually, right before I got on this live, I did something bad. I was not as disciplined as I wanted, and I was doing some. I was disciplining myself and being somebody that was steadfast in my patience. But right before this live, I took on a task that I said I was going to wait to do. But I did it. And you want to know something? I am extremely disappointed in myself because that probably could have been the difference between me getting better than I was yesterday. I wanted to take a nap today. I did. I wanted to take a nap. I wanted to take a nap today, and I laid down. But every time I closed my eyes, something in my head was saying, "Bro, get the fuck up. Fuck you doing, man?" And I'm not saying it like, "Oh, you shouldn't take a nap." What I'm trying to say is like sometimes you know where you want to be, and the fact that you're not there is only honestly your fault. It's your fault. You ain't there because it's you. You just ain't got it, man. It takes an extreme amount of discipline that you ain't willing to fucking have. Straighten the fuck up and tighten the fuck up. And sometimes we gotta talk to ourselves like this. We gotta talk to ourselves like this. I'm looking at you dead in your face. Sometimes we gotta talk to ourselves like this because sometimes we distract ourselves with shit instead of locking the fuck in and getting the fuck right. Because see, we so infatuated for covering shit up, covering our fuck ups up, covering the fact that we ain't doing what the fuck we want to do with other shit that distracts us. I love playing the game. I love playing the game. I love playing the game. I love 2K. I love Arc Raiders. I love that's about it now. I love playing games though. I do. And I'm the type of person I really want to be great. I really do. And that's why during my walk today, I was just thinking to myself, why am I not where I want to be? Why am I not great? So then I start thinking, I'm like, damn, why the fuck I'm not great, bro? And then I had a realization. I was like, it was weird. Like, I just thought to myself, like, well, bro, maybe you're not great because you play the game more than you work. And then I'm like, what the? No, I work a lot. I work a lot. Yeah, but work don't start when you actually have to do it. Work don't start when you got to do it. Some of y'all not breaking that generational curse, and some of y'all never gonna have generational wealth because you think that work is when you on the clock. You think work is that 9 to 5, that 8 hours. Man, work is when you get the fuck home and you gotta actually do some shit for yourself because you tired of seeing your grandmom or your mom or your family not be able to get what the hell they want. Work is sometimes locking yourself in a room by yourself on the camera talking and realizing that you actually missing out on certain things that you wish you could be a part of because you understand that there's a bigger picture coming. You understand that at the end of the day, you got to put that motherfucker work in because nobody else will in your family. Sometimes you actually got to lock the fuck in and realize that you the difference maker. And the only way you going to make that difference happen is if you actually sacrifice. These are all facts, man, and things that I had to actually realize, man. And I'm sharing it with you guys because I know some of us, we do want to be great, but not all of us. Not everybody watching me now or later wants to be great. Not everybody that is watching me will be great. I'm telling you right now, not a lot of people going to be great. Like a lot of people are all revved up to do this and do that. They ain't going to be shit. A lot of your friends are going to be failures. A lot of people in your family are going to be failures. You may be a failure. I may be a failure. And I got to always live with the fact that I actually had a choice. I had a choice. And the choice, honestly, was, am I willing to put in that extra work? And sometimes, I'm going to be honest, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm not willing to put in that extra work. Sometimes I'm not willing to go live when I should. Sometimes I'm not willing to go ahead and ship that package when I should. Sometimes I'm not willing to do the research for that new supplier. Sometimes I'm not willing to go and send that invoice right away. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I fall the fuck off, and that is okay. But it's not okay when you want to be great. Sometimes I'm like, shit, I want to get on the game. Let me go ahead and get on the game. I ain't finna go live today. That shit don't make you great, bro. That shit make you regular, and that's dead ass serious. So the people that's listening to me, the people that's watching me, the people that actually know where I've come from and have seen my YouTube journey, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm the only reason I get low views. I'm the only reason why I'm not where I want to be. I'm the only reason why I got phone stores instead of a phone company or a wholesale company. I'm the only reason that holds myself back, and I'm okay with that because I already know when you at that bottom part. See, where the bottom for me is may not be the bottom for you, right? And then the bottom for you may not be the bottom for me. Making money to me is not a bottom. Like making money for me also is not the top. You know, having that freedom. And also understanding that every single day I gotta get the fuck better, bro. Every motherfucking day, because I don't got a motherfucking day to waste. I don't got a motherfucking day to waste. I want this shit as bad as I want to breathe, and that's a fucking fact, bro. Fuck everything else. I want this shit as bad as I want to breathe. But I gotta actually sacrifice more, and I gotta put more work in, and that's a fact. That's a fact, man. And that's the motivation I got for the day. But I really wanted to say that because I feel like a lot of people may feel the same. You know, you're not happy with where you at, but you only blame, and that's a fact. You ain't never gonna grow if you just doing the same shit. Even if you are doing good, you gotta push yourself the fuck harder, man. All right, man. I love y'all, man, and I'll see y'all in the next video, man. I hope you guys have a great day, and also, well, not a great day, great night. And let's see, will I go live tomorrow and do a third day straight? I hope so, man. That is the goal, to come live tomorrow. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.